as you can see here, there's an absolute value here. If you have an absolute value, you can't multiply negative numbers inside, nor can you pull negative numbers outside. So this absolute value kind of works like a barrier. Don't try to put numbers inside or outside, unless there's very few exceptions when you can do that. If you have like positive numbers, you can bring it inside, but I can't really see any need for it. So whenever you see an absolute value and an equation, just make sure that you don't modify this. Just treat that like a barrier. And otherwise, you solve like you would usually solve an equation. You would want to identify this x. So what you want to do is you just subtract 3 both sides so that it's negative 5 minus 3. Subtracting 3 here. Negative 5 minus 3. Negative 5 minus 3 is like negative 5 plus 3, so that's negative 8. So you have negative 2x minus 3 equals to negative 8. And then you divide by negative 2. Divide by negative 2, you have x minus 3 equals to 4. Okay. Now here is the important part. Here, right here. That's the important part. Because whenever you have something equal to a number, then you can get rid of this and just say it's equal to plus minus. So the thing without the absolute value is equal to plus minus of this number. The reason I'm saying this is, think about this. If you have absolute value of x equals to 4, what can x be? X could be 4, but also negative 4 works. Because what's the absolute value of negative 4? Negative 4's absolute value is 4. So indeed, if you replace x by negative 4, you get this 4. So this equation has two solutions, 4 and negative 4. Therefore, when you have this, at this point what you want to do is you want to get rid of those absolute value signs and then put a plus minus on the right. Okay? This really means it's two equations. This means it's one is x minus 3 equals to positive 4, and there's another one, x minus 3 equals to negative 4. Both are solutions, so you have to solve them separately. So you have x equals to 7 by adding 3 both sides. If you add 3 both sides for this one, you get x equal to negative 1, because negative 4 plus 3 is negative of 4 minus 3, which is negative 1. Okay? So you end up with these two solutions, 7 and negative 1. Of course, if you really want to check whether you got it right, it's a good habit to plug those numbers back in here and see if it works. If I plug in 7 minus 3 is 4, negative 2 times 4 is negative 8, negative 8 plus 3 is negative 5, so it works. Again, negative 1, if you plug in here, negative 1 minus 3 is again negative 4, but that's positive 4, and everything else works too. Now, one more note is that equation absolute value of x minus 3 equals to negative 4, had this number on the right side, if it was negative 4, then such an equation does not have any solution. You don't do plus minus of negative 4, you just flat out say no solution, because you have an absolute value. Absolute value only can give you positive number. So no matter what you plug in for x, there's no way that this left side can produce the right side as a negative number, so this cannot work. That's why you have this, you have to write no solution. So you have to be careful. Although I said that whenever you have absolute value equals to a number, just put x minus that thing in here, just put the right side as plus minus 4. That's only applicable if this right side is a positive number, or 0. 0 is possible too, but if it's ever negative, then you don't do this. You just say no solution. Okay?